is day 10. And camera. What do I have to get ready and turn on my TV to watch what's going on in the world today? I have to see this. Trust me, I won't burden you with that nonsense. I hope you guys enjoyed the last video. That's what I want to keep on doing is, do a little bit more venturing outward, keep our minds off of the political aspect of this crisis that we're in. But yeah, let's go ahead and make a day of it. I got an appointment with a friend. I was supposed to meet with him at 9 in the morning, and right after that, I'm not quite sure what I want to do, but I'm not going to come back here. I'm thinking about maybe, going to do some volunteer work at the wildlife refuge. And I'm pretty sure it has been closed since the virus. Since the CV, I keep forgetting that. Stupid YouTube. And so I'm just going to go ahead and check it out, and, it's probably trashed up and it's going to need a little bit of cleaning, and it's probably been neglected for the last 2 or 3 weeks. But then again, because there's a lot of people out and about, right? So I might go check that out. So yeah, hope you guys are staying safe out there, and let's get this day started and see what happens. What's up, guys? It's the next day. As you probably noticed in the last video, it was only one clip, and that's because I just basically laid in bed and just watched a lot of TV. Not this kind of crap. They're going ahead and discussing the $2 trillion thing, and I just flipped it on, and first thing I turned on, and that shows up, and well, I'm turning it off. So pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm thinking about going to do a little volunteer work at the wildlife refuge. Right? Probably nobody's there, but what the hell. So I'm thinking about doing it. Haven't decided yet because I'll have to take a bus there, but there could be a lot of people in it, and or there could be nobody in it. But you still have to walk by the bus driver unless they let you come through the back door. But you still got to pay. I don't know how that's going to work out. Anyhow, I'm thinking about doing it. Haven't decided on it, but I don't know. We'll see. If not, I have another idea of what I might do, and I might either today or tomorrow go out to the old train trestle I did a video on. And so I'm thinking about checking up on that area again just to kind of see what was going on. And the property is being maintained by these guys, so I don't have to worry about trespassing because now I'm part of them. Then I wasn't. Now I am. So I'm thinking about doing that. We'll see. So I hope you guys are still staying safe, and let's try to get this day going. Let's do it. Yeah, so what I ended up wanting to do today, maintain the social distance while going out, right? But I am going, instead of going to check out that bridge I was going to do, I'm going to save that for tomorrow. But I kind of wanted to go geocaching, but not so much looking for geocaches, but I have some out there. And there is one that I heard a couple of comments that was too easy to find. I'll explain to you what, if you're not familiar with geocaching, I'll explain it to you a little bit later, because I am out and about. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to replace it with something a little bit more difficult for people to find. Excuse me about that. That was an asshole that was drifting right towards. As you can see, I am not on the sidewalk. I am not in the middle of the street. I am walking beside cars. I've been having problems with ignorant people just, not minding the social distance, so I took it upon myself to kind of just do it the safe way. But that particular guy that just passed by, he was coming right towards me. I thought he was going to hit me, so Gave him a little bit of a reply to his action. I shouldn't have done that. My bad. But that's another thing. I'm walking the street because I am finding it quite frustrating that people aren't minding that, suggested 6-foot rule. I mean, you can do that around your family and all your friends. That's fantastic. I'm not your family. I'm not your friend. Stay away from me. You know what I mean? So instead, I mean, a couple times I've actually had to get into a verbal discussion, if you will, with some of these people, but I thought I'll take it a little bit, swallow some pride and, be a little bit more mindful of my space by just kind of avoiding people all around, just avoid everyone. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. We're going back through an area that I've put videos up before and through Niles, and I'm going to go out there and show you exactly a little bit of what geocaching is all about if you're not familiar with it. So let's do this social distancing, this shelter in place by replacing an easy cache with a little bit more difficult cache. So let's go. As far as that social distancing I mentioned, I have to be fair though. Today, I have noticed people though really making an effort in, themselves, not just myself, but I have noticed people really, taking initiative to, be mindful of, my space, and so that's really, good to see. And it's, those little things I was talking about as far as what's been going on, me getting in confrontations with people, that's kind of just very isolated. I don't go around saying, hey, mother effer, get the hell away from me or this will happen, I'm not doing that. I'm not going out there doing that. But I am noticing, I am telling, I am getting into some debates with a couple people. I have 2 people. But I just want to put it out there, people are getting it. So that's very good. I happen to be walking through, this is Friday, and I'm walking through a parking lot for the courthouse. As you can see, there are people here. I don't know who all these people are. They don't look to be government cars. But I doubt the courthouse is open this morning. I don't know what this would be. All right, I happen to be coming up about that park that you've probably seen the video, where I'm just really upset about how all the bums are trashing the park, the memorial park. And there happens to be some gardeners here. I'm going to ask them exactly who owns the property, because I may have put the blame on the wrong people, but I just want to check this out first. Okay, so I just got done. I don't know if you can see him behind me. Him and his buddy over there cleaning up, and he is, I won't zoom in on him. I don't want to put his face on there. He's pulling out, I wish I could, he's pulling out a lot of cans and bottles out of that trash can. The bums have been trashing up this memorial park that I'm in right now, and I just kind of, I don't like it. And I just was asking him, hey, who owns this park? And, he didn't understand any English. And I told him, I know, habla español poquito. So, I mean, you live in there, you're going to know a little Spanish. So I try to find out who actually owns this park. Was it the city or the county? And after, a few seconds, he said, oh, it's the city of, where I'm at. So, okay. Because, I mean, I'll be honest with you, this is the first time they've cleaned up this area, this park, in probably a month and a half. Every night I'd get, come home from work, and I would just always see, like, bums and shit here at night, just getting drunk, congregating during this time, right? But just getting drunk, getting, loud and fighting. They can fight all they want. I don't care about that. But they're just trashing the park, and it's kind of a disgrace to a beautiful park that, that this is. So I just was curious to know, Well, guys, nothing good to report here at the BART station. Buses are running. BART is running. but there is not one person besides the workers here. Not one. I have not seen one person. I've been here for about a couple minutes now, just waiting to see if anybody would show up. Not one car, not one pedestrian, not one person, except the workers. Yeah, right behind me. Construction workers are right to work. They are not stopping. It's a project they're doing. It's a drainage project for a pond that's just over there. It's probably in one of my Niles videos. All right, here's another problem I'm running across when I'm walking around. It's pathways like this. And I just had a guy come up towards me, and he just started his trek on this bridge, and I literally had to stop right back there at the beginning until he crossed this way. And you know, that's just part of the inconvenience, you know. We have to sit there. No fault of his, but if, you know, you can't space, and you definitely can't go in the bike lane because one, there was a bicyclist that came, and two, as you can see, traffic does get pretty close to right here. So it's pretty dangerous just to walk out in the street like that. All right, guys. So I am going to go ahead and try to tell you what geocaching is as simply as possible, as best as possible. I'm not a speaker by any means. Probably can tell, you know, I do stumble a lot in my words and try and explain things, but I'll try my best. So basically what geocaching is, it's kind of a GPS-based treasure hunt. And what it is you can get the app or go to its website to sign up, and you use the app or computer to find locations and where geocaches are. And what you do is you go to the geocache and you sign it and you put it back. A lot of these geocaches are hidden little caches. They're little containers. They could be as small as let me try to show you real quick. Something like, you know, in a container as small as maybe this, right? Just a little tube. It could be something like, I've been hiding these all over the place, little camouflage containers. Mine happen to have little magnets within the camouflage tape, so you can put it onto metal surfaces. In fact, I'm right in about 6 feet social distancing from my cache. No, I'm just kidding, bad joke. I'm 6 feet away from my cache that I put just over there. But with these magnetic, you know, you have something magnetic, you can put it underneath, like, for example, like something metal, like this fencing over here, or a utility box, or, you know, you can just use your imagination. Sometimes people put it underneath lamppost bases. They're just basically little containers. There's another sized one I made. As you can see what would be inside one. Sometimes they'll have little trinkets or something where you can leave inside the container, or you can, you know, and you can grab one, you know, exchange little containers. Like this particular one, I haven't put it out yet. But see, it'll have a log page in it where you basically will sign and date your nickname, your geocaching nickname. To show you what it looks like, show you one. And here's one. There's many different versions, but this is the one I put in my particular cache, see? And people will just sign their nickname and put a date on it. And then what they would do is go on the app or their laptop or whatever, and they would log it in. And there are many different ways people log in their caches. Some people just say thank you for the cache by putting TFTC, just abbreviated, or some people will put in a little anecdotal phrase to go along with their login, or a little story they may have came across, or maybe they'll notice that the cache is destroyed, or it's, you know, by rain, or, you know, the weather, and it's old, and, you know, you have to tell the person that hides the geocache, the cache owner,
that maybe it'll need a new log sheet, maybe it's filled up, maybe it's destroyed by the weather, so on and so forth. So that's basically it. And once you log it in, you go off to another cache. You get what they call a smiley face. And people are so excited when they get the smiley face. And the whole purpose of a geocache is to, it's just the fun of the hunt, right? It's the fun of looking. It's a treasure hunt. Some of them are pretty fancy, very devious. We call them evil caches. And evil caches are, well, I'll just show you, because that's why I'm going to do what I'm going to do today. Is I'm going to go to one of my caches in a location where it's kind of obvious to find. It's in a little black tube. It kind of stands out to the rest of the background. So one day I had taken it upon myself to make a custom evil cache. And what I did was I made a cache out of a pine cone. And a lot of people make them a different way. This is my first one I ever made, a little evil cache. But what I could do is, as you can see, there's a hook on it. And you could just hang it from the tree. And as you can see at the top of it, I even glued a little top to it to kind of give it a look to it. But it is all sealed up. I made sure it was watertight. I had put one of these type of tubes into it, but I had to cut it a little bit and, do little modifications, but I drilled a hole deep into it. I glued the hell out of it because this particular one, it's a small cone. I have another one, but it is falling apart. So I'm a little concerned about that, but I think once it's hanging, it's been bumped around a lot too. But I think once it's hanging from a branch, people will look up at it and say, and won't be able to notice it. So they'll be there for, a long time. Some people are pretty smart. They get it. They know that, it's an, evil cache. And so they'll be looking for, not your traditional caches like this or, bison tubes or anything like that. They'll be looking for a lot more deviant. They'll be on the lookout for something a little bit more sneakier. I've found many caches where you actually would have to, there's one right near the Tesla car plant in southern Fremont near Milpitas, going towards Milpitas, and they had a cache where you literally would have to solve a puzzle with this particular puzzle box just to open it up to get into the cache, which is a really unique and really the cache owner really put some thought into it, and I really love those type of caches. Now, there's a good side and bad side to caching. Let me first off say, let's say you are looking for a cache. A lot of the caches people will put in urban areas. They could be in places like where I'm at, just in your local park. Or they can even be right there under a lamppost in your grocery store parking lot. And, those type of caches are risky caches because somebody else can see you go into it and they might not know what the hell you're doing. They're probably thinking you're tweaking on drugs or something, and you know what I mean. And so you're looking for this cache and you're digging around the bushes, you're digging under things, and you're just kind of looking for something, and a stranger will look at you and think, whoa, what the hell? We call those people muggles. And it's kind of the term from Harry Potter, the magic killers. That's the term geocachers call people that come and they see what you're doing, and then after you're done leaving the area, they'll go to the geocache themselves, find out what it is, and maybe they'll just end up just being total a-holes and destroy the cache. We call them muggles, magic killers. They're killing our fun. They kill the fun for the next guy that's looking for the cache, right? So I hope you kind of get an understanding of what I'm saying. I try to do it as quickly and as best as possible. But this is the one I'm going to replace. It has a bison tube. Let me show you what's in it real quick. I'd even glued, the little lid comes off. Can you see that? And there it is in there. There's the little thing in there. It's not, you're not going to be able to put any treasures or trinkets in it. But, people will be able to sign and see. You got that? And yeah, there you go. And I have it rolled up, there you go, in a little Ziploc bag. I've been meaning to put this particular cache that I made. It's my first one actually I made, so hopefully it lasts, but I have a backup one in case this one fails for whatever reason. And yeah, you know, I'm really excited. Figured, well, what the hell? I'll, you know, grab the bison tube now, right, and use that for a new location. You know, because I'll do that with you on another day. We'll go hide a cache together rather than find a cache. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you what I mean, why this is going to blend in so well. And then at the very end of the video or in the description, I'll even put the GPS coordinates once you sign up for the geocaching website, unless you already do it, and I'll let you come and look for this. But if you see this video, you're going to get a heads up on what to look for, so that's something. All right, that being said, I hope I talked your ear off enough, and so let's go and replace this sucker. Onward. I have to admit though, it is really nice with the shelter in place. I guess the benefit of it is I can excuse me? I think he wants to be on the video. He had a lot to say, but I guess he was camera shy. Oh. His buddy's coming in. There you go. I mean, it's really nice that they had shut down the park. I think in my other video I showed you that they had put the covers on the water fountains to deter people from coming into the park. They did that here too. And they got signs all over the tables, except for the table, these tables over here where I just did that little clip about the geocaching. But, this is, I guess if there is one, if you kind of look at the glass half filled rather than half empty about the whole thing, this is the payoff. This is the payoff right here. I went ahead and threw them some of the wild bird food just to see if the ducks would like it. Now they're not too shy about being around me. It looks like looks like they're getting a little too distressed. I better stop doing that. I threw them plenty out there, so these guys, while they're fighting, this guy down here, he's eating. Alright guys, so I'm here at the location and I got the new cache on hand, so let me go ahead and show you exactly what I am replacing without giving you too much information on where it's at. I'll show you where I put it, but I am now going to be moving it to this slightly a little bit different location to kind of blend in with the atmosphere. As you can see, pine cones everywhere, pine cones on the ground. I mean, I could literally just make a pine cone, throw it on the ground, and people would have to go through every damn. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about hollowing out a pine cone and then throwing it on the ground, kind of in a location, and then have people scavenge through all this madness. But I think that'd been a little bit too that'd have been too messed up for some. But I'm going ahead. Here's this one. There it is. As you can see, it's a camouflaged bison right there. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and I am going to I'm trying to show you this without giving up too much information. Kills the fun. I don't want to muggle my own cache, you know what I mean? So I'm going to hang it up. I'm going to take this, I'm going to take the log sheet that's in it, put it in with the other log sheet inside the new pine cone cache, and then it'll be mission over. Mission accomplished. Alright guys, how sneaky is the cache? If you were to come up on this tree, how hard would it be to find? Can you find it? That, my friends, is a very devilish cache. If you've been doing it for a while, you can probably find it. I know you can't see it, but the sign says, enjoy a walk in the park. 6 feet for social distancing. Do not congregate. I made it home. Alright guys,
that's it for me. Hope you got a little bit of got a little bit of education about what geocaching is all about. I am going to rest, relax. It's about 4 o'clock. Make some dinner, Netflix it, and tomorrow I'm going to head to the Dumbarton Bridge and see how much fire damage was done out there. And I don't know. If you haven't seen the video, it's on my playlist about, I think it's under Out and About. I don't know. I'll put a link into the description or at the end of the video, and you can see it for yourself. Some people find it interesting. It was really interesting before the fire. So tomorrow will be kind of interesting to see how much damage was done and stuff like that. Just be safe out there. I'll talk to you guys later. Wash the hands, 6 foot rule. You know the drill. And yeah, peace out.